Hey guys, I'm Brent. This is Landon, and welcome to Pastor Chat with the Pastor Landon. So, Landon, so good to see you.
Thank you.
Great message. Really quick, as I was listening, are you like a real diehard Star Wars fan, or are you kind of like a fair weather Star Wars fan?
I used to be a diehard fan, but now like real Star Wars fans like hate Star Wars, and I just like it. So I'm more of a casual fan.
I got you. Well, again, great message. Just got a few questions for you. So during that message, you talked about the gap between feelings and belief. So my question is what do we do if we're trying to close the gap between our feelings and our belief about God?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the mistake is to think that it is something that you can do, and it is not something that you can do, but it is something that you can ask God to do. And so there are things that we don't do or do, but we don't do it right. So if the gap between feelings and belief is faith, we think, okay, I need to have faith. And that is true, but we get that faith from God. Right. And we need to humbly reach out and surrender to God and say, I can't do this without faith. And God fills humble places in our life.
Man, that's really good. So here's the other thing. You talked a little bit just about religion and how religion, for some of us, it completely jacked us up. We look at God as authoritarian. We look at God who's going to basically strike us down because of our sin. Following up with that, how should we basically reset our view on God, who you said was kind, loving, and forgiving?
Absolutely. You know, it says in Colossians that Jesus is the image of the invisible God. And Jesus is everything that God the Father wanted to say about himself in person. And I think that as we get to know Jesus individually, personally, spiritually, through exactly what he says and teaches and who he is, we are learning about the Father. And then in addition to that, I think treating the members of the Trinity as different, but also as the same, and just recognizing that when you know the Holy Spirit, you're knowing the Father and you know, like that.
That's awesome, man. So listen, I have one final question for you. As you were preaching, I was kind of sitting there and I was reminded of that passage in Psalms 27. Here's what it says. It says, when my mother and father forsake me, then the Lord will take care of me. To those individuals who may not have had the best parents in their lives, what would be that final piece of advice that you would give them?
Yeah, that's really rough. And I think that God allows everything in our life for reasons that we don't understand and oftentimes never get to understand. And seeing whatever lack you have in your life, whether it's parents or, you know, people in my family history have mental health struggles, and seeing those things as caused by sin, but allowed by God for a purpose, is an act of great faith that tends to eradicate a ton of pain and a ton of frustration and a ton of shame in your life. And when you see everything in your life as a gift from God because it led you to God. And so when you see having bad parents or not having parents, not that the pain goes away, not that you don't need to go see a counselor, not that you don't need to pray about it, but when you see those things as allowed by God to bring you to him, then I think that changes a lot for you.
Man, that was really good. That's a game changer. Well, listen, thanks so much for taking the time. Thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you next time.